final test match, as in Australia have already won the series, and Australia yesterday piled up 454, and Marnus Labuschagne actually going on to break the record of runs scored by an Australian player in an Australian season by making, I think, more than 800 runs. Now it was he broke an ancient record of an yesteryear great player by the name Neil Harvey. Neil Harvey was a wonderful player. So he was the one who was holding the record for 60 years for Australia. And Marnus Labuschagne went from strength to strength. He made his totally hungry for runs. He goes there and he bats and bats and bats the opposition out. And then broke the 60-year-old record, which was there for the Australian season, held by the former great batsman Neil Harvey, and went on to set a new record for the most number of runs by an Australian cricketer in an Australia. I would say hats off to this young boy, Marnus Labuschagne, who's making waves, who has really raised the bar in international cricket today. Um, well, so I'm going to talk about that match where Australia made 454, and as I'm talking to you, New Zealand have already lost. As a cricket up could say that New Zealand have already lost their first wicket in the morning. The openers had done a good job yesterday on the second day, seeing off the Australian bowlers, but they could keep them here. Blundell is the one who's gone. Nathan Lyon, the red arm off spinner, has struck, and there's good captaincy, I thought, on the part of Tim Payne to bring the spinners, because this pitch, no doubt about it, we are seeing a lot of foot marks on that. And this pitch, right from the first day itself, one was saying that the foot marks was being formed, and it really tells in favor of the spinners. So we'll come back to that later. And the other match that happened is between England versus South Africa at Cape Town on the second day, 61. But South Africa definitely, especially Anderson with the second new ball, had a real burst at the Stevens as of now in this particular game. But first, definitely, we are going to talk about the test match between the Aussies and New Zealand. So let's have a look as to what happened on the second day. So as I said, the talk is going to be about Marnus Labuschagne. They start 50, then he went on to 4 centuries, and now he has reeled off a double century. He made a double century, and also broken the record for the most runs in an Australian season by an Australian player, which was held for 60 years, 115 runs, which included 19 fours and 1 6. And when Marnus Labuschagne plays, I have to say there is a lot of a classism about him. He has some style in his batting as well, but everything he does is absolutely right. And that's what we saw here, a wonderful exhibition of batting. And Labuschagne, as I said, is really going from strength to strength here. Wickets fall a bit quickly at the other end, with Matthew Wade was the first to go early in the morning when the offie Somerville struck by forcing Wade into the sweep shot, and Wade was clean bowled with Somerville for 10. Travis had got a thick edge to a ball outside the off stump of the ball in a Fenry. He tried his favorite shot, which is the cut shot, and it ended up in the hands of the wicketkeeper Watling. Tim Payne gave some good company and collected 35 runs with 3 boundaries before Grandhomme, who's if you look at Grandhomme, probably feels he's a very innocuous bowler, but let me tell you, he can really surprise you with his pace and the bounce that he gets on the pitch. That's what he precisely. It was gone. Pattinson was out in a very, very unfortunate manner, we would say. Neil Wagner, serving the short stuff at absolutely with liberal doses of short stuff, as you know, from Neil Wagner. And this pitch, the ball actually hit his bat, and it is anatomy, and then it rolled on to the stumps, and Pattinson was gone. Come 8 was out quickly, shot like snapped the catch of the bowling of Todd Hassel there. He lost his stumps to Wagner, and then Lyon not out 6, and it was all over. The Aussies were bowled out for 454, and that would have given a great relief for the Aussies. that they didn't allow the Aussies to go past the 500 mark. If you look at the bowling, Henry had 1 for 94. Colin de Granholm definitely turning himself into a very, very useful bowler for New Zealand here. One three stock of the 9 for Somerville, the tall offie, and Todd Hassel had 2 for 111. Now, New Zealand were given a few overs to bat before the close of play, and they mustered 63 without losing a wicket, with Blundell and Latham taking it forward. But Blundell, as I said early in the morning today, we had Tim Payne, the Aussie skipper, introducing spin pretty quickly in the day, with Nathan Lyon snapping up the wicket of Blundell. When Blundell tried to flick a delivery, he was bowled through the legs of the pad actually, and wanted to whip it off the back foot. 34. Tom Latham is currently batting on 42 with 4 boundaries. G. Travel, one drop is into the chance, and he would like to grab it. He would, I'm sure, everyone understands that Mitchell Stark psychologically riled Raval and forced him into a dismissal. So that will be an interesting battle between Mitchell Stark and G. Travel, according to me. Well, so let's get on from here. That was the live cricket update. 85 for 1 is the current score for the Kiwis right now. And this pitch, as I said, definitely everything is in favor of the Aussies, according to me. As I said, this pitch is really, as I said, right from the day one itself, it has started showing signs of turn. A lot of footmarks have been formed, so that really says the spinners will come to the equation. We already saw today the first wicket has been taken by Nathan Lyon. Now, we are talking about the other match, which is on the second day's play. We are talking about the game at Cape Town in South Africa, where England today just, as I said yesterday in my tweet, as you would have seen, that if at all James Anderson could give some company to Pope, it would be better, but it was not to be. Anderson was out for 4 to Rabada, and Pope remained not out on 61 with the Englishman being bowled out for 269, and the wicket as Rabada at 368, 256 for Not J, 2 for 46 for Lander Maharaj. As far as South Africa were concerned, it was 269, not a good score, one could say, because definitely there was some assistance, but batting was not so hard as it seemed out to be. As England knows that there were a lot of technical fallibilities. They were responsible for their own indiscretions, and that's the precise reason, without anybody actually going forward and making a big innings, England had to be content with 269, which definitely is not a par score on this particular pitch to me. But I thought England definitely made up for that with their bowlers really bowling their hearts out and restricting the South Africans to 215 for 8 at close of play on the second day of the second test of the ICC Test World Championships at Cape Town in South Africa. If you look at the card there, Elgar played a good knock. Elgar did a wonderful job. I thought he's the most experienced person in the team after Fab du Plessis, and I thought he was doing a wonderful job. He had contributed 88 with 10 boundaries, and he was looking the piece. But very unfortunately, he rang bad shot under the circumstances. I mean, he had only 12 runs to get to his century, and he knew that he had a task on hand with all the other batsmen being in the pavilion. But one does not know why Elgar attempted such a. He wanted to deposit Bess into the crowd, and in doing so, he ended up being caught by Joe Root. I mean, it was good catch by Root, running back from mid-off, but it was not something that one would have expected from Dean Elgar under the circumstances. So it was, I have to definitely say, it was not a shot which would have been, which would never get an okay under the circumstance. Breakthrough, and so Mallon was out for 5. So Mallon not having a good debut there, as he was snapped up by Joe Root. It's a flying outside edge, and this could have definitely been left alone by Mallon. I'm sure du Plessis was a victim of the bowling of Anderson. Now that was a big wicket. It was now Ben Stokes, I have to say, that Ben Stokes picked up some beautiful catches in this, and every catch that he took in the slips was diving full length and picking up the catch before it hit the ground. And this was really, really wonderful stuff from Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes, what a total contributor he is to the English cricket. He did a wonderful job there, and we saw Vander Dawson picking up his 50, which is good to see as well. But I thought he did a wonderful job as he made 68 with 7 boundaries. But again, he was one of those victims of that lovely catch by Ben Stokes of the bowling of Sam Curran. And then Quinton de Kock was caught by Anderson of the bowling of Curran. As you know, Quinton de Kock is someone who likes to play his natural game, and he tried to hoik Anderson, and it went straight on the hands of. Sorry, he tried to hoik Curran, Sam Curran, who was nicely angling in the ball, and he was gone. And and then James Anderson, and then the second new ball was claimed by England, which was rightly so, and that helped Anderson picked up a few wickets there. He picked up the wicket of Pretorius and Keshav Maharaj. He sent them on their way, and finally, when stumps were drawn for the day, Philander was not out on 13, and as I said, 54 runs still there. So that is the good news for South Africa. If at all Philander can really stay put there and see to it that he could actually see to it that he could get to that 54 runs, which separates them. That would be a sort of a psychological advantage for South Africa. But nevertheless, Anderson, splendid bowling. First time I thought he's finding his mojo here. 3 for 34, 16.4 over 6 maidens, 34 runs and 3 wickets was his returns there. Broad also bowled well, 16 over 6 maidens, 236. Sam Curran is a very good improving bowler, 13 overs 3 minutes, 239. Dom Bess, the off spinner, got the very important wicket, I thought, of Dean Elgar, which according to me is the turning point in this South African innings, because Dean Elgar was really looking very good, and to play such a rash stroke under the circumstances, which is utterly unbecoming of Dean Elgar. 1 for 62, so Dom Bess getting his first wicket there. Stokes none for 34, and Root had 3 overs on for 4. So that is as far as these two, with all the other cricket news on my cricket tweets, or you can go onto my cricket website. Thanks for keeping company, and to your host Ram, bidding you all a very good night. But definitely those two matches, I'll be coming back with the summary of those two matches as far as the third day is concerned tomorrow. That's on a Sunday. Until then, good night.